that we had about how all the top players are in this way of pools for you guys.
We didn't see any.
Finally get one player that is not only ranked in the MIM top 100, the MPGR top 50, but also the top 10. And one of my good friends and personal heroes, there he is, Zain, quote, Zain Nami. So.
Zain, don't call me Zain, Zain Nami. Yeah. One of the, just the best Marths out there right now, if not the best, definitely for solo mains. He's
easily the best solo Marth main.
And he just is one of these players that, it reminds me of another Panda Global player, Plup, where just he started stacking up the wins. Everybody had been talking about him for a couple of years, and then he started putting the different pieces of being a top 10 player together. Yeah. And honestly, I could see Zain following that Plup path of becoming now top 2, top 3. Yeah. It's really cool to see the new talent come through. And on the other side, it is Pepis Mayflower. If you haven't heard of Pepis, it's a pyramid scheme. Yep. And Mayflower is probably trying to recruit Zain in front of our very eyes. Let's see if it goes well. I think if he gets a Shoryuken with Luigi, that counts as induction into Pepis immediately.
You're now a member of Pepis.
Yeah.
So as a Marth main, I can tell you guys from experience, this matchup is brutal for Luigi.
Yeah.
It's just that once you get knocked in the air, you just get juggled for infinity. And, you know, for as good as Luigi is on the ground, Marth does just as effectively.
Right.
And so that's what you saw with Zain. You just, especially, you know, there are very few options that are quite as good as dash attack. If you can connect with a tipper dash attack, it just pops Luigi. He has no jump. He's dead.
Yeah. This matchup makes me want to play Marth for it always, because I love Luigi. I'm a Luigi fan as a viewer, but as like playing against him, you know, getting nared out of all your combos can be frustrating. And just seeing like Marth's mollywop Luigi and just swat them out of the air over and over is it's pretty inspiring. Yeah. What is the way that Luigi players succeed when they do, though? It's not often.
It is not very often, but I think that if
WWAD, what would a bait do?
Nice easy drop. Against Zain?
All right, well, maybe not against Zain. Against Friendship of Marth.
Yeah, so, you know, Luigi does have a pretty solid punish game on Marth, too, if you can get it popped in the air. So that nair, obviously, as you mentioned earlier with, like, Peach and Yoshi, is that if you can put it out pretty quickly and combat in the air, and then that'll lead, it pops up, that could lead into combos. You have a pretty solid up air, and then one of the big things that you could do, too, is right there, I actually like that edge guarding opportunity that Mayflower did. Right. Because, you know, you have a quick mix-up between if you want to drop down Bear, or I think
I think it's Vita Dash, too, for the offstage edge guards. That could probably get you deep enough to cover some of Marth's up B shenanigans from below the edge, or if they're being ambiguous with their side Bs. But that was pretty dominant by Zain. What did you expect in pools? I remember, what was it, a Gammel, I think? Or Smash and Splash, rather, when he dropped in from a helicopter and then just destroyed his pool because he was a little bit late because of his flight.
Yep.
So yeah, he is one of these. There are different kinds of top 10 players in pools. Some go for the combo videos, some go for the speed run. Zain is a little bit of both. He speed runs you while completing his next combo video. Zain versus the world.
Alrighty, that was a very quick first stock. Okay.
Yeah.
See, there's the nair, but just unfortunately couldn't get off it. Because a lot of the times, too, it's going to trade. Yeah. So, at best, you just, like, get out of Zain's combo, and then that's it. You just sort of reset.
Look at these edge cancels. What is the utilities? I see Zain a lot of times doing the dare out of shield, which I know is generally good for Marth, but he seems to be doing it even more aggressively versus Luigi than you'd expect. Or than you'd expect if you don't know the matchup.
Yeah, because what we've seen a lot specifically from Mayflower, too, is a lot of spot dodges. And so Dare is such a big sweeping hitbox that you can just time it and get a pop-up, too. Because that's another thing, is that Dare, even weak hit Dare, will give you pop-ups. Yeah. And then you can just lead into more stuff. And that's an up tilt.
And as you say, you want to get Luigi in the air. And I have noticed Zain as a player is really good at punishing spot dodges. If he notices you over-relying on it, not only does he punish you, but...
That face is so funny. His bottom lip just detached from his face.
Oh, no.
It just extended way out. But yeah, you're right in that. I think that he's also very good. You know, he uses up B, the base hitbox, a lot more than I would say the majority of Marths. Whether it's a tech chase opportunity or just a punish, like we saw him end game 1 with it.
Yeah.
But okay, I was gonna say Mayflower is so close to wrapping up that stock actually.
Yo. Is he trying to colonize Zain? Is this Mayflower bringing the Pilgrims?
Nice air dodge. Still no jump, though. And yeah, he's got the fastest PC drops in the game.
And Marth is one of the better characters to do the PC drops because you can just kind of wave dash towards the edge and you get a nice flick on your controller and you're in.
Oh, he's just hanging out by the ledge.
Oh, Zain a little bit scared. He's got plenty of stocks to play with, of course, but he's not giving anything for free to Mayflower.
And so I mentioned dash attack is a good way to get Luigi in the air and start your combos, but also tipper fair is so brutally good.
Zain back in control. It's looking easy again. Oh, no! There was a gasp from the crowd, a gasp from us, and Mayflower does manage to
there was a
clean it up.
gasp from you. I knew exactly what Zain was doing.
He got killed. You should have gasped. Oh, there it is, the European.
Yep. All right, so Zain, just tweeted out he's feeling a little bit under the weather, but sick enough to continue to get these wins, and he'll be moving on.
I never know what to make of players who are saying that they're under the weather and all those things, because sometimes you hear stories after a tournament about how, like, oh yeah, when this guy won, he was like throwing up behind the scenes.
It's like the flu game, right? That's the whole lore behind it. Is you want to be like, wow, my my hero or whomever, my Hungry Box, won a tournament while feeling.
Yeah. Well, having played Spaceys a week before,
my hand hurts.
Nobody's ever won a tournament after playing Spaceys. Did you know that? After practicing. No, I agree though, and there are people. There are times when it really is bad. It really is like enough to affect their performance. But I think sometimes certain players get so hyped up on the adrenaline and just the momentum of a tournament that they kind of power through it, and at least in the game, it doesn't actually end up mattering all that much.
Yeah. What
is the problem is if the being sick or being injured prevents you from ever getting to that place of momentum in the first place. It prevents you from kind of getting your start.
Yeah.
On stream right now.
Another top 10 player, actually.
Another top 10 player.
Player that just edged out Zain. So Zain came in at number 9 on the rankings. Now we have the number 8 player who happens to be team member of Video Game Bootcamp, VGBC.
Shout out.
So that is going to be Amsa. And he'll be taking on Smile, a Sheik. But yeah, this is, it's always a treasure watching Amsa. And, Whittler is very good. Again, we want to say that we saw him win, but even just comparing what we're going to see with what we saw with Whittler versus what we are going to see with Amsa is.
Yeah, we'll see how the differences in their styles, how much faster Amsa is, how Whittler had dropped a couple combos. He did some unique things like that up tilt on the ledge that we saw. I don't know.